Hello everyone, and welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming Club. Without us, they'd never feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So again, we're based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. If you're in the area of Philadelphia, or Philly as we always call it, definitely reach out to us, either through here, my Sir MC 2015 up on the 9th Age boards. If you live around South Jersey, like Deptford area, Westchester, PA, Delaware, Northeast Maryland, Lancaster, because I always say Lancaster, my wife always corrects me. Please reach out to us. We're looking for you. We are a local gaming group. We've been in stores. We actually moved from stores into basements, back to stores, and now we're in basements again. But again, we're always looking for new and fun players. And again, we have players that go to ETCs. We have other players that will use cardboard cylinders as drop pods. So again, wide variety. We're just fun to be with. So today we have a huge game. It was 5,000 points per side. So we have the Dread Elves and the Vermin Swarm versus Saurian Ancients and Dwarven Holds. We're like, okay, we will have evil versus good. And it just seemed to fit. So Dread Elves was played by Ryan, who's actually going to co-host this battle report with me.
Hey guys.
Beat me before I could say hi. And then Dan was doing his fanciest rats you've ever seen. Then you've got the Saurian Ancients, played by Dave. And of course, I'm there with my Dwarven Holds. So here's the Vermin Swarm list. He just emailed me his list from Battlescribe. That's the a lot of people are using Battlescribe. I won't lie, there was so much information as I'm going through, trying to cut, paste, and I'm like, oh my god. First off, he does have a huge army.
Yeah, you'll need a few minutes to actually go through this whole list, so you might want to pause it.
And at the same time, I'm an army builder guy. I mean, I still like doing it hand and paper, but I like army builder. I just it's a little bit cleaner, neater, and easier to use sometimes. So over here, these are Ryan's pretty boy Dread Elves, and I say pretty boy because if you look him up on the boards, it's pretty boy.
I still don't know how I got that nickname, but
I do.
There it is. I know we were going to that tournament in New York, but I forget what sparked that.
I don't know. It was something I do know, but that was all Dave. So again, he's got his Dread Prince, and he's got a nasty little kit on him. It's like you got to kill him quickly before he starts compiling wounds. He's got his Manticore, which is a pain in the butt if you want to shoot at her. Hand to hand though, she's manageable. And let's see, and you can read the rest. Now, Saurian Ancients, I could have given more. I just really didn't have much, and there was a change to his list that he did do because he was about 25 points over in rare, so he took them and threw them in core. I just don't know what he did in core. I think he added a couple skinks on. But he had the large unit of 27 warriors had spears full command. Mm-hmm. The other unit of 20 warriors had sword and board full command. His Caimans had halberds or great weapons?
No, they had halberds, so they could keep the born predator or whatever.
Gotcha. So they had halberds. He had 5 raptors, I think nothing in it. And then the skink hunters, skink braves. He did have this. Hunters had the poison blowpipes. He had 2 tower soars, so triceratops. 2 salamanders, and those are the things that can move and then have a flame template, much like a flame cannon. He had the 3 skink skyriders. I don't know if they'd had command or not.
I don't think so. I think they were just like chaff, anti-chaff type thing.
His general was a Saurian warlord. And then he had a skink high priest that will be played today by a dark elf mage model.
Just to confuse you guys a little more. And she went out of heavens.
Yeah, and she went out of heavens, yes. Over here we have the Dwarven Holds. So I did do a slight change, and the more I think about it, I'm actually going to change my king again. I really like the War Throne. I like him having 6 wounds. He's a bear to beat in combat. He's got a 5-up ward save. He's got an extra attack, extra strength, and a +1 to hit, and a shield. So I like it, but here's my concern. And Ryan, my concern is that if I go up against anything that's going to have heavy armor, he's not going to break through him.
Yeah, you need high strength or more armor piercing or something like that.
So I'm thinking about changing one of his runes on his magic weapon and giving it the no armor saves, AP6.
That's a good one. Because how many attacks does he have? He has like 5 attacks?
He has 5 attacks.
So yeah, all you need to do is a wound or 2 and you'll be fine.
Exactly, and usually he has hatred. The guys underneath him have hatred, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. But he does have a 9 attack space, or the way he's kit out now. 5 from him, 4 from the guys underneath. Again, everything else is, for the most part, the same. Except I did give, and I neglected to remember this, my organ gun now has flaming.
Okay.
So I got tired of getting beat up by a Hydra. So we did hidden deployment, because again, the game's so large. Everyone came over, but Dave had to put his army together. We're supposed to start at 9. Dave shows up late. Dave starts putting his army together, so we're like, okay, hidden deployment. We have my wife's turnaround set up the terrain, so you'll see everything. And we'll go through it in just a moment. And what we have here is a picture of the Saurian Ancients and Dwarven Holds. So all the way on the far flank, you have... So this was kind of Dave setting himself up. He's got his warriors with sword and board. He's got skinks there right in front of the ruins because they skirmish. He's got his caimans all the way on the far side too. I don't know exactly where, but you'll see shortly. Then I had skinks in front of... and I had a unit of warriors somewhere over there too.
Your warriors are behind the skinks, I think.
No, they're in front of your caimans. That's what it is, all the way on the far side.
I thought your dwarf warriors were there.
No, and then I have another unit of warriors behind the skinks. Those are the guys with spears. The other guys were great weapons, throwing weapons.
Right.
That vanguard. And you can... Everything is kind of what it looks like. In the middle, well, Nelly is supposed to be a Triceratops. Nelly is one of my old ancient Hydras on top of a rock. I just need a painter. I love that model. Followed by 13 guild marked handgunners. There's a reason why I put them behind the hill, and that's because they have my engineer that is within 3 inches of both my organ gun and my cannon. And the black bases, he actually did have the models, but they don't sit on the bases right now. He has to pin them again. Is the pterodactyl riders right behind my organ gun there. And let's see, the other white block of dwarves there, those are the graybeards. With that said, I did forget to put down my Forge Wardens. I completely forgot a unit from this game. We didn't start this game till like 10 o'clock at night, I don't think.
And we played till, what, 4 in the morning?
Yeah, I wasn't in bed till 4:30. So yeah, I kicked everyone out just after 4. So it was such a fun game, though. It really, really was. And just kudos to Brian, Dan, Dave, and thank you so much for this game. So here's their side. So, mind you, you have a ton of rats. Look at where they are. They're all bundled together. And here, we're just spread out.
Yeah, and when we were setting up, Dan had said to me, because we were trying to figure out how to deploy, and he's like, well, my blocks all need to be together to support each other and for leadership. And I don't play Vermin Swarm or anything, so it's like, okay, why don't you set up first and I'll just fill in the gaps kind of thing. And this is what we ended up with. So as Mark said, most of his stuff is right dead center. He has blocks of slaves. Most of them are the rats at arms with hand weapon shield. We did put one slave bus all the way to the right behind my fast cav just to kind of protect that flank where that building is. And then we put all of our monsters on the right together. So the Abomination, the Manicore, the Kraken, the Hydra are all over there. And then a lot of my stuff went over on the left with my shooters, my bolt throwers, and then I had the Tower Guard and the Executioners kind of behind everything to keep them out of range of shooting. And then all the way to the left, what looks like a steam tank is actually little rats.
It's a beautiful model.
It's fantastic conversion work by Dan. It is a steam tank model, but it's being carried by rats, and he uses it as a doom wheel. So that's all the way on the left.
Now, one thing, so we're spread out. He's all tucked together. So in my mind, it's actually advantage you. Because if you have all your points more huddled together, that's great. Because it versus being spread out.
Because you attack one half of the army at a time.
Exactly. However, you'll see stuff in just a moment. And by the way, Dan's got, I think, 2 units of Storm Vermin in there, and then a unit of Spears with the Bell.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did have the Bell. The Bell is being proxied by those, like, pillars, because he didn't have it with him, so.
Yeah. He turned around and was like, I need this size base. I'm like, okay, I'll cut it out for you. Here you go. So he grabs, like, Chaos Terrain. So after the hidden deployment's removed, there's the building. Dice are everywhere already, and of course there's my beer on the far, that's my beer on the far end. And yeah, there are the Caimans behind the warriors. So now vanguards, there we are, and again there's Pretty Boy up there in the upper left-hand corner.
Great job.
Thank you. And so the way we did it is. We did a roll-off for...
yeah, we did a straight roll-off to see who would go first.
But we did the straight roll-off for Vanguards, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you moved your Vanguard first, and then I moved mine.
Yep.
And that's kind of... It's literally just how it is. But Dwarves and Saurian Ancients did get first turn, so why I have a picture there, I do not know. Oh, they were stupid. That's right. Yeah, Turn 1, they failed their stupidity test. So again, here we are. We're like, all right, we're gonna run up. We're gonna like kind of get that flank kind of turned a little bit quickly. Make him start turning his army because he's got a viable threat over there, or at least start shooting that way. No.
And stupid right in front of where the Doom Wheel is too.
Yeah.
Which is bad news.
So again, I didn't bother moving my warriors because I did. I think I did move them so they could shoot a little bit easier. And yeah, that's it. Everything just moved up a little bit. I didn't really move as far up with my blocks of infantry that are there in the middle. So the one block of infantry that's got a little white coming down on the back, that one there is the dwarves with spears, and the one next to it are Deep Watch with the king, and the king is elevated. And there in the trees, and it did move 3 inches up, is a flame cannon, and then you got the 2 salamanders in front of the lizard's block. I won't lie, I don't know why he did that. Turn 1.
I guess trying to get things into range to just blow fire across all that infantry.
Yes, they have the skirmish rule, so it's -1 to hit, but I'm just like, that was your strength of shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got bolt throwers, you've got auxiliaries, you've got magic from the mages.
And Dan's pure hatred of everything fire was going to... He would have come down on me hard if I did not shoot at those salamanders.
Yes, Dan has had some bad experiences with flame cannons. And I am the root cause of that experience, and I don't apologize. Yeah, it's the infantry just dies in droves to a well-placed flame cannon, but he respects the flame cannon now. So over here, some shooting. Only managed to kill 2. They stuck. They made their leadership test. I was hoping they would panic. I think that actually didn't come from dwarves. I think that came from the blowpipes.
Your dwarves missed, I think.
Yeah. Well, go figure. They're dwarves. Over here, my handgunners did... I did move the handgunners out, and I took the engineer out of the unit so he could stay close to the 2 war machines, but I had to put the handgunners up on the hill that they were in front of. So they did manage to kill 1. Yeah, they killed 1. I'm like, all right, well, that's the unit that has the mages. So then I open up my organ gun. I killed the entire unit and put 1 wound on each of the mages.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
That made me a happy camper. But, you know, because again, if it's turning out to a shootout, we've got equal ability to hit each other. I've got the better ability to wound, but you've got the armor piercing. So it's like it's going to be a trade-off, and let's be honest. Then he's got all that magic coming at me. If his mages are able to stay there too.
Yeah, it's really the ranged magic advantage that we had because I think you guys had more powerful shooting with the war machines, but we had I think more ranged magic and more bomb spells. Like you guys had Comet, but I had Transmutation of Gold. I had the Shadow one where you have to take initiative test.
Yeah, and that's horrible against our armies. I mean, we're both initiative 2s.
Yeah, and then Dan has like multiple magic missiles and a bomb spell too. So
yeah, so that's how that looks. Over there, his Kraken got hit with my cannon. And of course, I roll only for 1 wound, and it's D3 plus 1. And that's it. So that picture's out of place. That was all of the Dwarves and Saurian Ancients turn 1. So now it's that is one of my models. Not to be confused with Ryan because it's not flocked. But it is a nicely painted Elven Assassin. So move up the Gutter Runners. So we're now in shooting. I guess I forgot to take a picture of the end of the movement. You'll see it in just a moment, though. There's a unit of auxiliaries in that building there. And they got shot the living crap out of the Dwarven Warriors. Fortunately, though, Dwarven Warriors weren't going to run anywhere. Over there, the Hydra breathed on the Skinks. And Skinks didn't run either.
I forget if they did or not, but I think 6 died from the breath weapon.
Yeah, over here, I don't think anything.
I think like 1 or 2 of the marksmen died.
Yeah, because I originally had 13th. I think he killed one or, as you said, 1 or 2. Then the Gutter Runners, I think, did 1 or 2 wounds there. So now we're back to the. I'm just going to call them the SDs or STDs. I don't know. He's orange, you know. So now we're back to our turn. So over here, apparently I forgot to take pictures of this, but they did move up, but they did lose a couple of models.
Yeah, the Doom Wheel.
Yeah, the Doom Wheel turned around and did manage to take out two of the Sauruses, and then he charged him this turn, killed the Doom Wheel, and then reformed. So that's actually the end of combat. The Warriors actually turned around, got to the house. You failed to hit and wound.
All right, so I have 14 auxiliaries in there, which is 28 shots. And with 28 shots, I couldn't do any wounds on a stand and shoot.
Yep, so the 5 warriors with great weapons get into those lovely little elves. And now it's their turn 2. So here's how the board looks at the beginning of turn 2.
So in the house... with the elves striking first, they didn't kill any of them. And those guys have hatred as well. And the dwarves killed a couple, but I didn't break. So they're still fighting. The abomination goes right into those
skinks. See, we moved those skinks up from the ruins to chaff up the abomination.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, what he did, and we were kind of hoping you weren't going to be able to do it or reach it, was you turn around and he charged into the flank. Did we have you doing a DT test for going through ruins?
I wasn't in the ruins. I was literally just sitting outside the ruins, like an inch
side?
and a half away from the dwarves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, as you just heard, he was on the other side of the ruins. I just couldn't remember. So he charged into the flank of the dwarves, and then he was hoping to kill the skinks, break the skinks, and eat them, and then have his abomination join that combat. And
the Hydra charges the Blockosaurus at the bottom there.
And Dave has himself chaffed up. So that was bad placement on our part.
I think that's about it. I think that the Gutter Runners move into position to try to shoot at either the monster or at a war machine or something.
I remember you're using them to chaff him up because either he's going to charge us or we'll just sit there and chaff him. I'm like, chaff him. We'll leave him be.
And the Dark Raiders all the way at the top moved over to shoot at the remaining 2 Raptor Riders.
Yeah. So over here, so as you can see, the Greybeards fled and the Skinks fled. Let's go back real quick. So the reason why they fled is because of the Raptor Chariot. The Raptor Chariot first declared charge on the Skinks. The Skinks ran away. And then it redirected into the Dwarves. And I'm like, you know what? If he hits the Dwarves, there's a chance from where my Greybeards were, he can then overrun. It would have been an overrun into my organ gun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I can't do that. The organ gun is just too important of piece on the field.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it is helping to. We don't control the flank. We are nowhere near controlling a flank, but it's one of our few counters against our opponents controlling that flank.
And Mark also knows that the Raptor Chariot is the best model I have in my army.
That damn thing. I cannot kill that stupid thing. I've tried several times. So now Dwarves' turn. That was turn 1. Or turn 2 now. So actually, this may have been turn 3. We may have had an extra turn.
No. Was it?
Yeah, because I was there. No,
it's turn.
No, yeah, this should be turn 3 because now I'm into the Hydra's rear.
Or we just forgot to take a picture.
Yeah. Or turn the dial. So anyway, so the Dwarves turn around and they beat up the unit that was in the building during that last close combat phase. Because again, he fails to wound me, and I killed 2 or 3. I think I killed 3.
Yeah, I didn't lose by much, but they broke.
Yep, even with the BSB right there. So I had them turn around and then charge into the Hydra's rear. My thought process was, they're going to die. They're just flat out, they are going to die. But if he doesn't manage to kill them with the Hydra initially, I'm going to turn around and at least be getting some strength 5 hits, or strength 6 hits, because they're +1 strength on the charge.
And you have a charge and a rear.
And I have a charge and a rear, and I had hatred against the Hydra. So I chose my hatred against the monsters.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, I had the Abomination and the Hydra. If nothing else, if I still have at least 1 dwarf there, I'm giving combat res to the warriors so that they'll hopefully stay stubborn for a little bit longer. So that was my game plan. I charged my dwarf king into the Abomination.
Yep, Abomination did a lot of wounds last turn and just kind of held them up there.
Yep, and I royally screwed up thinking, okay, it's a monster. I have spears. It's lethal strike. No, it's lethal strike against cavalry, monstrous beasts, chariots.
I don't think it's even monstrous beasts. I think it's just monstrous cav, chariots, cavalry, and flying. Anything with flying.
Yeah, so I'm like, son of a... but, live and learn. And I still managed to put 1 or 3 wounds. I think I did 3 wounds onto the Abomination. But again, I was steadfast, so I royally didn't care. Mm-hmm. And that's basically how everything looks at this point in time. He did edge closer. So during the shooting phase, they were in range of the flame cannon with the big unit of Storm Vermin up in the front. The unit that has color to it to the left actually are slaves. Now, if you also notice on the field where the hand is down at the bottom, cupping the dice, there was a unit of slaves over there. When the warriors broke the Dark Elves, that unit there, because a unit was broke from combat within 6 inches, panicked, and fled off the board. I think that's all we have going on in this. So.
And then your flame cannon tried to shoot, misfired.
It did that turn 2, misfired.
Yeah.
And then this is turn 3.
Okay.
Yeah, this has to be turn 3. The other thing that I only did 1 wound to the Abomination. And then learning what I did regarding the monsters and lethal strike is I have a hold stone. And I turn around and I drop my hold stone going, all right, this way I can turn around, I can kill the guys to the left, I can go against the critter in front. The gosh darn hold stone, I should have just killed the elves. And I neglected to, I screwed up. Over here with the king getting in, I did manage to turn around, I killed the elves. I think one of them got away. I only killed one of the elves to the flank. One got away. However, It failed its dangerous terrain test because of the ruins, and it flat out it just died.
Yep. And then in the other combat with the Hydra killed all the dwarves before they could fight.
Yep.
And just stuck there again.
Yep. And the king and his unit just ate the abomination. It didn't need. They don't have flaming, but they didn't need it. There was enough attacks, enough wounds that nothing he could do. So again, now it's turn 3. Yeah, I told you that was turn 3. We did chaff up over there, and we put a spell up on them, allowing me to reroll the wounds. That was one of the big reasons why I did so well against the Hydra, or not the Hydra, the Abominations. I could reroll all my wounds. So now it's the Dread Elves and Vermin Swarm's turn 3. So, as I said, the Flame Cannon got off. Dan was not a happy camper. He really wasn't, because that was a unit of how many?
Probably 40.
And I killed it over 20.
Yeah, it was like 24 Storm Vermin, I think, that got killed.
Yeah, that became roasted critters from the Flame Cannon. So when he finally was able to charge in during turn 3, he charged in with a full unit of slaves, which I didn't care about. And he had a meat grinder in that unit. He had his general in that unit, and not that many Storm Vermin left.
Yep.
And that was it. And they're not. They don't have stubborn. They're not steadfast. Nothing.
The slaves were just in there, I think, to split attacks and to also provide ranks. And steadfast. That's really it.
It was the rank and the steadfast. Again, the Hydra's still there, and
looks like my mana core charged. Either moved up really close or charged into.
No, you charged the warriors.
Yeah, charged into the flank of the warriors or
Yep.
something.
Yeah. And let's see. So there's that combat. So I did lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. And I did a lot more than that.
Yeah, Dan rolled 2 for impact hits with the meat grinder.
Yep. And then his grind with the meat grinder was next to nothing too.
Yeah.
Because it does impact hits and then grind attacks. Over here, the Hydra stomps another 2. And that's just literally what happened. So his general turned around and ran, taking 3 Storm Vermin with him. I killed that ugly looking ball that was being played by a Shriek in this game. And there's another unit of Storm Vermin coming forward with another ball and another character in there. And they're the slaves, so I did a combat reform. I challenged out your Oracle with my unit champion.
Yeah, with the priestess or whatever.
Yep. And that's because I had the Holdstone down. And because of the Holdstone, I had to turn around. I had to issue challenge.
Yep. And did I kill it this turn? I think I whiffed. I think I did.
No, you killed my champ.
I did kill the champ.
Yeah, but I was steadfast.
Yeah.
Steadfast leadership 10.
Okay.
Even with a -1 because I think you caused fear.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're back to Dwarves turn 4. I do a combat reform on this time. I'm facing the Oracle, and the Caimans get into the flank. We have the one Triceratops turn around and charge into the chariot. And that was it. Now, if you notice, the Raptor riders are gone from the field. During our turn, we did choose to charge your fast cavalry, I think.
Yep.
And he shot them to death.
Yeah, and like one of our turns, I shot with him, killed one, and he charged with the last one in the stand and shoot. Just died.
And meanwhile, we did do like 1 or 2 wounds to the bell from his lucky bolt thrower shot, but that's it. And
we also forgot to mention, if it wasn't clear, on both of Dave's lizards that like shoot the fire, the salamanders.
Oh, we did forget to mention that.
Yeah, they got shot off the board, I think, turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because because of Dan's fear of fire, And because we have so much infantry, we were just like, all right, we'll take those things out and then focus on the flame cannon. So they died almost immediately.
For those of you watching this who have kids and have seen the movie Hotel Transylvania, fire bad! Alright, and that's literally what was going through our heads. Yeah, they died turn 1. Nothing panic, but they were both flat out killed. And what else did we forget to this point? You rallied
I rallied the auxiliaries.
The auxiliaries behind the house.
Where are his pterodactyls? What happened?
Pterodactyls just died from last turn because you think you charged. Those are what's that there in the middle?
Is that
those are rat.
Storm Vermin? Some rat unit.
Yeah, that's some rat unit there that turn around. Yeah, he charged with that unit Storm Vermin with his other characters in there, and turned around and was moved closer to your Triceratops and my War Machine. We were debating how to deal with that because the way it was originally placed. We can only charge the front. We didn't have any flank charges the way it appears we do now.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So you just chaff them up, and
we chaffed them up with the Triceratops. I'm like, let my flame cannon do its dirty work. And the flame cannon just lit them up. So again, we were trying to do a quick game, so that's why you'll see intermittent shots. I promise to do better during solo games with the pictures. So I greatly do apologize, but. Yeah, the flame cannon killed over another 20 rats that turn, and during one of the other flaming attacks, I think I flamed at something else later on or early on.
Which is why Dan looks so sad in this
yeah,
shot.
Yeah, Dan, that is as I always say, the Dan, and he just was not a happy camper at that point in time because he had lost over 40, if not close to 50, Storm Vermin. From just my flame cannon, nothing else but that flame cannon, and so all he has left is the slaves against my general, the unit pushing his bell, and everything else is weakened beyond belief.
Yeah, and Dave did throw down a comet
and
killed both my bolt throwers
and
with it.
That landed this turn too.
Yeah,
because we placed the comet at the during our turn on turn 2. Turn 3 it didn't come down, and then turn 4 it turned around, it blew up. It took out both bolt throwers. It took out the whatever shooting the rattling machine gun.
Yep, killed the rattling gun.
But on turn 1 it rolled doubles and couldn't shoot for the entire game anyway, so Dan didn't care.
And it killed like a few tower guard, I think.
Yep, and it took out a couple tower guard. So that's now where things are. So the one flank is, for the most part, fairly secure where the organ gun is. Nothing's really threatening up there. The handgunners are actually providing a very good support system, protecting the cannon that has range over everything else. And the reason why I put that cannon all the way over there was it was hidden from my opponent. Well, actually, I had no idea, but I figured it would be hidden. But it had range to the rest of the field.
Yep.
So whatever was coming up over the hill had to deal with the organ gun and the and my own handgunners. And meanwhile, the cannon had the rest of the field, and my flame cannon had the center to the one flank. Over here, that's exactly what happened. The flame cannon just lit them up, and there weren't quite as many as there were a while ago. And over there, he's down to now 2 gutter runners. And I moved up my engineer to try to shoot. I don't think he does anything. My organ gun, where you can't really see, there's a single cavalry model left. My organ gun opened up and killed 4 out of 5. I only rolled 6 shots with my organ gun this turn. Over here, I turned to face the Oracle so that I could provide support with my from my own dwarf unit. The Caimans take easy work of the Hydra, and I forget what she killed the chariot and then did a reform. And over here, the Oracle actually runs away. So what happens is, again, we turn around, we roll for wounds and stuff like that. Ryan killed one of my guys. I did.
I don't think I killed anybody because you had the challenge.
Well, no. Remember, we did a roll. That's why it's like he killed one of my guys, and I did like a wound or two to him, and then we turn like, oh crap. No, we challenge like, crap. Well, it's a different set of stat lines. I can't just say take a wound on my one model. Let's just redo the combat. He completely whiffs. The Oracle whiffs. The Mana Core whiffs. Did I? I think I did one wound.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think I did anything.
No.
So you just, I mean, even on
I made my
static res,
I did my saves.
Yeah, you made one of your armor saves because the Mana Core wounded once. The Rider didn't wound at all. And then just on static res you won, and then you might have, I think you did 1 or 2 wounds.
Yeah.
Also.
And so even with the reroll, the Mana Core broke. Still kicking. It's got 3 wounds on it though right now. And that's where we are. So now it's Dread Elves and Vermin Swarm. Turn 4 is not looking pretty for the Forces of Darkness here. So the Tower Guard charge the Tower Soar, and the Executioners are stepping up to try to challenge me on that flank, which really is not a strong flank for us at all. It's just the organ gun is commanding that flank.
Yeah, and there wasn't anything else for them to do. So it was just like, all right, well, as Dan said, we need to start getting points. So I figured march them up. You never know what could happen, and they could just pick up some easy points there.
And that's it. Over here, there's and you move the mage out.
Mm-hmm.
So over here, he did 5 wounds to the Tower Sword. He missed killing the Tower Sword by 1 wound. All it has left is 1 wound. And I think your guy does 2 wounds each.
Yeah, Squidward did most of the heavy lifting because he's strength 7, he has hatred, and every wound he gets through multiplies to 2. So.
Yeah. So now it's Dwarf turn 5. We turn around, we move some stuff up, and we charge the BSB. I'm trying to remember what the heck happened to your BSB.
I think he fled. Or she fled.
We killed it somehow. No, the Caimans. We charged it. It ran. We charged it again with the Tower Soar.
Oh, that's right.
It ran back, and then the Caimans got to finish its charge, and you were in range. So where the Caimans are is actually where the BSB is.
Yep, that Mark's right, because it was a pinball situation, but I rolled with Swift Stride 6 twice. So she didn't get
She
away.
didn't go very far.
She didn't go very far. So the slow lumbering lizards actually caught her.
The dwarves moved faster than she did.
Yeah.
And that's it. In the middle, he just kind of like tries to get himself situated, and the auxiliaries are fleeing once again.
No. Were they? Oh, maybe. Yeah, they are facing the other way. I thought they just moved over.
No. I know they were on the board at the end of the game, though. Yeah. So, again, we moved those things up to try to shoot at the Executioners.
Yep.
The Organ... So, they opened up first. And then I think they killed 1 or 2.
Yeah, Dave was very concerned that he wanted to chaff up the Executioners, which I understand, because you never know what happened, but the organ gun killed, I think, all of them.
And then some. Yeah, there were wounds to spare by the time the organ gun opened up and got through with that. And over here, I think he just ran in his lord by himself against my unit. No, against my unit. No, that was what was left of this. No, that was what was left of. So that is a tyrant on Fluffy there.
Yeah, it's not his general, but it's one of his characters that's on like this crazy rat mount.
Yep. And the thing is that was what was left of the Storm Vermin going against my Deep Watch. No, those are the Deep Watch because that's the king. And they weren't any match. I had a higher weapon skill, even with him being strength 4. I still had a 5-up ward save, 4-up armor. It just wasn't pretty for the rats there.
He didn't have enough bodies.
No. And if you see the assassin model, he forgot to drop the assassin. So apparently a rule that Dan said, I didn't double check it, is that if the unit flees that has an assassin, the assassin's killed.
I didn't know that. I knew that like if the unit dies, like if it breaks from
unit
combat,
dies and
then it
it did break from combat.
Right, but if like you catch them, if it wasn't revealed, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So,
but I didn't know about that. But you know, Dan forgot to reveal him in the first place, which may or may not have helped with combat. But oh well, it didn't.
Yeah,
end up mattering.
I at that point I wasn't. It was his model, his rules, and none of us called him on it because A, we didn't know where it was. And B, it's still a friendly game. We just didn't care. We're like, no, go ahead. I'm like, no, it's dead. I'm like, all right. So anyway, so where were we here? So I killed.
So that character flees through Mark's unit of Deep Watch and lives, but it's like has 1 wound left or something like that. You can see the good guys are kind of in the middle of the board. The gutter blades are still on the hill, just in a standoff with those marksmen. And then this is a turn where with Dave's Taurosaurus or whatever, his dinosaur, it only has 1 wound left, and my guys couldn't do the last wound to kill it. So it goes off again and kills off like a lot more of my tower guard. And I'm just like, how is this thing still alive? It took 5 wounds in the first round of combat and then took 0 the next round. And I think that's about it. And Dan finally got a small victory. His cannon blew up the flame cannon.
Yes. After it survived 1 round of magic where I lost.
You lost 1 guy.
I lost 1 guy
Yep.
after getting pummeled with magic. And then I did a wound to myself.
Yep. The 1 turn you misfired, so it had just the 1 dwarf guy manning it.
Yep. And then finally, you got it. I have no complaints about that flame cannon because it killed so many rats, and it literally controlled the center of that board. It absolutely did. Job well done. So let's see. Over here, he charged into there. Now there's only 1 of them left. Dwarves turn 6. So we had his warriors turn around and charge the character, which bounced it back through our models, and it died from a dangerous terrain test.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Caimans made it. My dwarves had Swift Stride because of my king, and my king actually gave the Caiman Swift Stride because the way we're playing it is, and all the special rules would affect other friendly models, affected friendly models. So the Caimans in this game were friendly models. It's just not looking pretty for the Skavens all the way over there.
And then some units charged my auxiliaries and his general, and we both just fled to avoid bad situations.
Yep. And over here, there's that. I lost 2 dwarves, and we killed basically all he had left was the damn bell. That damn bell refused to run anywhere.
Yep.
So overall, and we did have a secondary objective, which was standards, and then we forgot to claim standards because they would have been claiming 3 against each army. Well, Dave had 2 standards. I only had 2 standards, and we didn't even bother going their armies for that. So we're just saying Dwarven Holds and Saurian Ancients major victory. It was kind of a bloodbath, so I did feel bad about that. But yeah, the flame cannon and the organ gun, I think,
did work.
Yeah, they won the game. So the MVPs for this game, I gotta give it to the Abomination. I still hate that damn thing.
It took a lot of models down with it.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
It did a number to my warriors. It did a number. It killed some skinks, and ultimately required my king and its unit getting involved in the flank in order to take that thing down. The Abomination with Vermin Swarms, it's a great thing.
It's one of the best monsters in the game.
It really is. For the Dread Elves, now I did this before Ryan came over. I had to give it to the Prince. The Prince turned around and killed that monster almost single-handedly, even though by the end of the game, all the Tower Guard were dead.
Yep.
But the Prince was still alive.
Yeah, Squidward did kill the Taurosaurus in the last turn, so he got those points. But yeah,
the Skink High Priest, because of the comet that came down and took out the 2 bolt throwers, killed some Tower Guards, the rat rotary gun, and
he did a couple other spells too that were helpful.
Yeah, he kept doing
like the Stars Align
and Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
And for Dwarven Holds, usually I do one, but the artillery, it was just flat out the artillery. Even the cannon pulled its weight.
Yeah, the cannon was rough because
it
killed the Kraken in 2 shots, which is easier said than done because it's a -1 to hit the Kraken.
Yep.
So the normal +1 you get is essentially nullified. So you're rolling the dice 50-50 shot, you're going to hit it. And he just got both.
You had 5, I had a 30%.
In long range, yeah. So he was just able to hit it both times. Cannon did really good.
Yep. So just Dwarven artillery just really pounded them. And that was it. Overall, even though it was a lopsided victory, it was a fun game.
It was a really fun game. I mean, we were up pretty late too, and we were laughing and getting off on so many different topics during the game, and
we were so punchy.
just rolling some dice, you know.
Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, please feel free to post your comments, questions. Again, sorry for missing a couple pictures. We were trying to move somewhat fast, so I was trying to take pictures at the end of the phases to make life a little bit easier. Rather than say, okay, no, leave your models there. Let me take a quick pic. And so, again, if things got missed, I do apologize. Hence, I forgot an entire unit.
Yeah.
And we didn't figure that one out till the end of the game. And as we're like, okay, let's see. I'm like, crap, where is this? It never made it to the field. So, again, thank you so much. Until next time, bye.